Hello, how's it going? Simon here from CD Revival, back from a massive break. Obviously, last video I did was back in end of last year, December sometime. And yeah, I just haven't done anything since then. Partly down to laziness, partly down to just being super busy, having lots of stuff going on. And yeah, just kind of needed a break from the whole YouTube thing for a while. Picked up a few subscribers in my absence as well, so that's kind of nice. So we're over the 500 now, but I hope you're all good, and I hope some of you have returned to my channel to see what I'm doing. So we'll be doing a few more bits over the next few months, weeks. Just gonna chill out, take it easy, but I thought I'd continue because obviously we hadn't even got to the end of the collection yet. It's been a good year for music this year. I picked up quite a lot of new stuff. There's been a lot of new good music out, which I'll go through in a video later on in the year, when closer to the end of the year, I guess, sort of an end of year review. But still a ways to go through. But I thought I'd start today by just doing continuation. So I think the last thing we did was an update video. Before that was like a Van Halen ranking. So I'm just going to go through the rest of what I've got in V, basically. So hope you enjoy it. Good to see you all back. And yeah, we'll hopefully do a few more in the future. So starting off with V, we've got Steve Vai, which is his first solo album. Not his first solo album, his first album was Flexible actually, but this is Passion and Warfare. So this is his second one. This is the one he did like just after he'd finished with Dave Lee Roth and stuff. And yeah, I got this when it first came out, and it's quite a decent album. It's got a lot of his more famous stuff on it, things like the For the Love of God and The Audience Is Listening, which had a really cool video at the time. But if you like Steve Vai, I think he's a great guitarist. I've made no make no mistake, I've said that before in my videos. I think one of the best guitarists of all time. Some have disagreed, but a good album, that one. Next one, I've got another Steve Vai. This is Fire Garden, which is also decent. Not as good as Passion and Warfare, but still pretty decent. This one came out in 1996. This one, so that's Fire Garden by Steve Vai. Another decent album. Next up, I have got No Respect by Vane. This is a classic album. This one came out in 1989, so just towards the end of the whole glam rock sort of era, if you like. This is a reissue. I have got the original version as well, the original issue. This one, as I say, is a reissue. This one's actually the original one that I've got's got a bit of disc rock going on. It's like a gold CD, and it's got, yeah, I've tucked that one away so it doesn't get any worse. But this one, Vane, massively, I don't know, underrated band. I think people that know them know how cool they are. Not really spoken about because, to say, they did hit the end of the sort of glam era. But yeah, a fantastic album. Loads of really cool tracks on it. Beat the Bullet was quite a big single at the time, but everything on it is pretty much a banger. There's no bad tracks, so things like Secrets, Laws Against Love, the title track No Respect is amazing, Who's Watching You, 1000 Degrees, Aces, just a load of fantastic stuff. If you're slightly interested in that whole glam scene from the end, like mid to late 80s, this is a fantastic album that you really need to have in your collection. I definitely recommend it. This one is another Vane one. This one is Fade, a slightly lesser known one. This one came out in 1997, so a little bit later on. They've done a bunch of albums, man, Vane, but they're really hard to get hold of, especially in the UK. They did one last year, and yeah, I can't get it. Like, I literally can't get it from Amazon. I can't get it off of eBay. I think you can get it directly from the US maybe, but it's just ridiculous money and ridiculous shipping. So it's supposed to be really good as well. So if anyone knows where you can pick that up, reasonably priced, I would definitely be interested in. This one's got some really cool stuff on it though. Things like Shooting Star and Holding On's really cool as well. Quick Step to Love. It's a good. All their stuff's pretty decent, to be fair. This one says a little bit of a rarer one. If I see any Vane albums on eBay, or yeah, I always pick them up if they're a reasonable price, just because they are so difficult to get. But Fade by Vane, slightly different style, maybe to No Respect, but still really cool. It's still them. This one On the Line is another one by them. This one's from 2005. Another really good album. Running on Empty is a really cool track as well. Life for Love. This one's actually signed by the various members of the band. They signed it in that sort of like silver pen, and you can see that, yeah, some of it's smudged over. Danny West's signature is smudged over, but still quite nice to have that. But yeah, a good album once again, well worth having. And the last is the Davy Vane solo album, which I didn't love at first, but in From Out of Nowhere it's actually called. When I first got it, I wasn't completely in love with it, but I think it is it's a really good album. It's really grown on me. So solo Davy Vane CD, really cool. Bit of a different tack now. Luther Vandross, Give Me the Reason. This is a charity shop pickup. I like a couple of tracks on here, and I don't mind a bit of this kind of, depending on the mood. So things like Stop to Love, Give Me the Reason, I really didn't mean it. Classic tracks. And also the essential Luther Vandross, which is 2 discs, and probably a little bit of overkill, but if you're in the right mood and you feel like chilling out, it's pretty decent. It's got some like remixes on there and stuff to sort of pad it out. Not the sort of thing I listen to very often, but every now and again. Vangelis, Odyssey, loads of stuff. Definitive Collection, so it's kind of a greatest hits. Quite a fan of the whole 80s synth kind of thing. This one's a 2003 issue. It's got like the themes from Blade Runner, Chariots of Fire, opening titles from Mutiny on the Bounty. All kinds of stuff on there. If you like synth pop and that kind of thing, then you might enjoy that. Stevie Ray Vaughan and Double Trouble. This is Texas Flood. Not a massive fan, but respect his stuff. It's a pretty decent album. I know that people do really love Stevie Ray Vaughan stuff. So yeah, picked this one up fairly cheaply, I think. This is the debut album from them, so pretty good stuff. Next up we have Velvet Revolver. This is obviously Slash's band after he left Guns N' Roses, with Scott Weiland and Duff McKagan as well. The first album's probably the better of the two. I think they only did 2 albums, but yeah, I do like it a lot. It's I like Stone Temple Pilots. I like Slash's stuff. Yeah, it's a good album. Contraband, I think, yeah, really well worth having if you're a fan of that. If you like Guns N' Roses or Stone Temple Pilots, probably heard it already, so check that one out. We've got Libertad, which is the second album, not quite as good, but still a decent album nevertheless, well worth having, so that's that one. Now we go into Velvet Underground, classic band from the late 60s. This one is 68, I think. Could be wrong. This one features Nico on vocals as well. This has got Venus in Furs on it, Heroin, Femme Fatale. So this is the first album from Velvet Underground. You either like them or you don't. But yeah, I like this stuff. Pretty decent, classic. And this one is just the Velvet Underground self-titled album. Another good one. They're just chilling. So that's that. And lastly from them, I think, is White Light, White Heat, which has got Sister Ray on it. 17 minutes of that. This is digital remaster, but another decent album. I say you often find them kicking about in the various sort of charity shops or thrift stores, whichever you want to call them. But yeah, some good stuff. Next we have Urban Hymns by The Verve. This one came out in the mid-90s. At the time I was a big fan of this. It's got no date on it, but it's got to be around, what, 96 maybe? Let's just go with that. Oh no, 97. I was 1 year out. Everyone knows Bittersweet Symphony, a cool track. You've got The Drugs Don't Work on here, Lucky Man, Sonnet as well. Yeah, a decent album. I don't think it's amazing all the way through, but yeah, it's got some really, really good tracks on it. Obviously, it's that whole sort of Britpop era when Oasis were massive and Blur, etc., etc. And this album, yeah, definitely of its time, but still an enjoyable listen. Got some really cool stuff on it. Got the CD single of The Drugs Don't Work back from when that came out. It's got a remix of Bittersweet Symphony on there as well. A good track. What else do we have? Vicious Art, Fire Falls and the Waiting Waters. See, I don't think I've ever even listened to this, man. I'm not even sure where it came from. But apparently it's an intense and vicious melting pot of black thrash and death metal. So, yeah, I've not even checked it out. 2004. This is one to listen to at some point, which I've got a few of those, to be honest with you. The Vines, Highly Evolved. I think this is their first album. Once again, this is kind of what, early 2000s? Yeah, 2002. Get Free is a big song from this. Highly Evolved as well is another decent one. But yeah, it's not a bad album. So that's The Vines. I think they were, supposed to be the next big thing at one point, but it never really happened for them. Okay, next we have, and this is a real favourite of mine of all time, is the first Vinnie Vincent Invasion album, which I think is a quality bit of work. They look dodgy as, and that's the inside, they still look dodgy as. But yeah, this album I played the living shit out of. I used to have it on vinyl when it first came out. Every track is superb. The guitar playing is so over the top, it's unbelievable. Obviously Vinnie Vincent, Once of Kiss. It's got Dana Strum. This one's got the original vocalist on it. I think it's David Fleischman. Doesn't say his name, but it's Fleischman anyway. Regardless of that, he's a real screamer. This album is just full on. It's glammy, it's rocky, it's a bit kissy. Every track's amazing. Still listen to this day and still think it's like absolute quality. Boys Are Gonna Rock, Shoot You Full of Love, things like Animal, Baby O, I Want to Be Your Victim, Do You Want to Make Love. If you're a slight fan of, once again, glammy stuff, this is one of my all-time favourites, man. It's just so cool. Really over the top. People shit on Vinny just because he is an odd guy, but he's written a load of cool stuff for Kiss, and you can see his songwriting really shines through on this album as well. It's a really cool album. The second album, Mark Slaughter is on vocals on this one. And it's still a good album, to be honest with you, but it's not as good as the first. This one's this one's still shut, man. It's got that kind of whole sticker thing going on. I'm not even going to bust it open. Used to have this on vinyl once again back in the day. Ashes to Ashes. This has got Love Kills on it as well, which was from the Nightmare on Elm Street, I'm going to say 3 maybe. Soundtrack, so it just shows you how long ago this one was. CD says 2003, but 1988, that's when it first came out. But yeah, some good stuff on here. Things like Naughty Naughty, Dirty Rhythm, Ashes to Ashes, as I said, Deeper and Deeper. Even it's got a couple of ballads on it, like Ecstasy and Love Kills and That Time of Year. That's a really good track also. They're looking slightly less effeminate on this one, and it is still a really cool album. Slightly less gonzo on the guitars, so you might appreciate that more. Mark Slaughter does a decent job. It's a good album. Unlike this one, which is another Vinnie Vincent, this is Warrior 2, and this, I picked it up just because, you know, I'm a big fan of Vinnie Vincent, and it's 2 CDs, and it's pretty much just like basic demos, man, and the rehearsals and stuff like that. So, as it turns out, it's kind of shit, man, and it's a real difficult listen. So yeah, it's worth having as if you're a Vincent fan, but at the end of the day, it's not the sort of thing you're going to listen to because it's just basic as you like. Demos of like songs that were on the first album, really, and a couple on the second album, and yeah, it's not very good. Give it a miss. Voivod, Best Of. Voivod, technical thrash metal band from sort of mid to late 80s. So this picks off of their albums up until 1991, and it's good stuff. Obviously the earlier stuff is it's a bit more difficult to listen to, but once you get to the middle where you've got like the Nothing Face stuff and the Killing Technology, even Dimension Hatros is a good album as well. So yeah, good stuff if you're a thrash metal fan. And then lastly, the last band that I've got is Volbeat. So we've got this album, which is I forget what it's called. They've all got really long, ridiculous titles, their albums. Beyond Hell, Above Heaven. This one is from 2010, I believe, and this is a decent album. It's some good stuff on there. Not one of the ones that I've listened to the most. This is probably the one that I've listened to the most. This is Outlaw Gentlemen and Shady Ladies. This is the bonus CD one. And this has got loads of really cool tracks on it. This is, for me, probably my favourite Volbeat album. You've got Lola Montez on there, which is probably the track that got me into these. I've not been like super into Volbeat for a long time, probably only a year or so, maybe 18 months, 2 years. But yeah, there's things like the Nameless one on here as well, which is really cool. Hangman's Body Count, Lonesome Rider. Yeah, it's got some good stuff on here, and it's really cool. The only thing about Volbeat I find is a lot of because of the guy's voice, man, a lot of stuff sounds similar all the way through, if you know what I mean. But yeah, really cool album. And I've also got the Seal the Deal and Let's Boogie, which is another cool album. This one is from 2016, I think. But yeah, from Sweden. A good band. If you've not heard them, check them out. This came out literally last week. This is God of Angels Trust. So I've played this a few times. This one, yeah, I haven't even got the CD in there because that's in my car at the moment. But yeah, a lot of good stuff on here. I think it's better than the last album, which I don't have. I can't remember what that one's called either. But yeah, it's a bit of a return to form, if you like, I think. By a Monster's Hand was the first single from that, and that's really cool. But every track's pretty decent on there. I've enjoyed listening to it. I've listened to it a few times now, so it's been out. Is it a week? Probably, yeah. I'm pretty sure it came out last Friday. So that's it. That's it for V. So now we are into W. And I think the next video I'm going to do, I've been listening to quite a lot of Wasp recently, and I've got all their albums, so my next was going to be, usually I like to do like a ranking of bands like that, but listening to it, it's really going to be quite difficult because there's a lot of different stuff and they're all pretty good, to be honest with you. There's a couple that are less good, there's a couple that are maybe slightly better than others, but rather than doing a ranking, I think I'm just going to do like a chronology, so go through each album one by one, say what I like about it, what I don't, whether I think it's top tier or, you know, just okay, or let's say none of their albums I don't think are bad, but I think they're an underrated band and probably, yeah, deserve a bit more respect than they maybe get. I could be wrong. But so that's what I'm going to do next anyway, I think, is just do a WASP, like a chronology, and, you know, see how we go with that, rather than the normal ranking and this is number one and then people get shitty and say, oh, I can't believe you had this above that, and etc, etc. Which I don't care, do you know what I mean? Everyone's opinions are different, but some people do get very fucking precious about it, so we'll see how that one goes. But I appreciate you watching, coming back to the channel. If you have, if you haven't, then, you know, maybe next time. And I say I appreciate it's been a long time, so thanks for your patience, and I hope you enjoyed the video. It's, you know, maybe a little bit rusty, not that I was ever like fucking amazing in the first place, but it is what it is, man. So thanks again, and take it steady. We'll all catch you next time. Cheers.